Greetings, adventurers. This is Lauren, your guild advisor, and we're going to go over the latest DanMemo news. There's a new live stream earlier today, going over the second part to our 4th anniversary event, Aedes Vesta. And hopefully you're caught up on the story. I did release my story discussion of part 1 last night. Very late on the story discussion, but I did get it out there before part 2. So hopefully I'm better about getting the part 2 discussion out. I commented about that in the description of that video. DanMachi Volume 16 comes out on the 27th, so I'm hoping to get the story discussion done before then, because I will be immediately wanting to read Volume 16 when that comes out. But we're here to talk about the latest updates that we're going to be getting in tomorrow for Part 2 of Aedes Vesta called Full Moon, and as you can see here, we have a character who looks a heck of a lot like Artemis, and there's some weird things regarding if this is like named goddess Artemis that we know or not, and we'll go over that. But first of all, with the second part, clear all the quests, you'll get 400 iris, and you can also claim 3 4-star guaranteed tickets from the event exchange. But let's go over the units they previewed. First one is totally not Artemis. On the other ones, they put down the names of the characters, but for this particular character, they did not. And let me pull up a tweet by Omori Sensei, the light novel author. So here, and I'll get out the translation because you probably can't read Japanese very much like me. So here, it says, the girl with the blue hair, what in the world is this? Artemis-san. I'm sure it won't be a spoiler, but the staff treated the scenario very carefully and the name was specially kept private for now. I hope that you and Belle will watch over her as she shows her various faces in the main story. Naturally, it's not a perfect translation, it's being done by a translation program, DeepL, but Omori sent to this tease like, who is this Artemis-san? And he says he doesn't think it's a spoiler with the whatever her name reveal is going to be. I am of the mind that, like, very much how Hestia kind of turns into Vesta when she's sanctifying the primordial flame in the event at the end of part 1, how she's now known as Vesta. As I've said before, Vesta is the Roman equivalent name of Hestia in Greek mythology. So I'm kind of thinking that the Artemis character that we'll be interacting with in this story is technically, I guess, not Artemis, but they'll call her Diana, which is the Roman equivalent of Artemis in terms of Roman mythology. And if you guys remember from the Aedes Vesta movie, the Artemis that Belle interacted with throughout the actual movie itself wasn't like the true Artemis. Like Hestia points out that the Artemis they're interacting with throughout the movie doesn't feel like the Artemis that she knew in heaven, and that's because basically the Artemis they were interacting with was like a fragment of Artemis, while the real one was being imprisoned by Antares, the antagonist, basically throughout the movie. So I'm thinking like maybe we're gonna call that Artemis Diana, or Diana, however you want to pronounce her name, and it's gonna be the Artemis that Belle interacted with throughout the movie. Like, it's gonna be that fragment that he interacted with. Like, that's my line of thinking. That's why I think that Omori Sensei would say it's not really a spoiler, because technically you have interacted with this character before, but we're gonna call her Diana in this event, like we call the alter ego of Hestia in this event Vesta. That's my line of thinking. We'll see what actually happens in the story. And I did see some people speculate that maybe Aphrodite is impersonating Artemis, or something like that's happening. That doesn't make much sense to me at all. I get why you would think that, possibly because they both have green eyes. That's kind of a stretch. But then you have Aphrodite's adventurer art using the spear that's very much like the same spear that you see in the Aedes Vesta movie. But if you kind of think about it, Aphrodite was in a completely different spot from where Belle ends up in part 1 at the very end, so that doesn't really match up. And I don't think this is like a fake out. We have so much focus on building up Artemis throughout this event, like with the rerun, the One Love event that we just got earlier. Like, this has to be Artemis in some form, and the way I think that's happening is through Diana. That's what I think anyway. Anyway, let's move on to other stuff. Another unit we're getting. Like we've known about this because we previewed the character arts before, because they're getting new outfits from the event, and we're getting the focus on that adventurer veteran trio I was talking about in my story discussion. Ryu, Aisha, and Osfi. This one's Flaring Gale Ryu. Flaming... This doesn't make any sense to me, this name. Flaming Soar Osfi. Like, Soar? I don't think that's a noun. Flaming Wings makes sense. I don't know that translation. Whatever. She looks cool. Blazing Antigonera Aisha. She looks awesome. Divine Sunrise Apollo. Like, guys, who could have ever called this? Like seriously, that Apollo and Hyacinthus would show up in the 4th anniversary event. No one could have possibly thought this. And I think, like, as much as most of us probably don't like Apollo, I think it'll be very interesting if he meets up with Artemis, because I've said this before, but in Greek mythology, Apollo and Artemis are siblings, so I'm wondering if they're going to acknowledge, like, any kind of connection. And then, of course, you got Glowing Pride Hyacinthus, like, Hyacinthus for a 4th anniversary unit. No one saw this coming. Now, for some obvious absences from the Part 2 banners, we have Mikoto. I think she'll get a character in Part 3. I think because of Hestia Familia's situation at the end of Part 1, Mikoto's not getting a Part 2 unit, and it makes more sense for her to get it in Part 3, because I assume that somehow Hestia Familia gets powered back up, and then they're all going to be in it together to try and help out Hestia. So it makes sense that Mikoto would get her units in Part 3. And then Hephaestus, she has a new sprite that we saw throughout the event, so maybe Hephaestus will get a new character in Part 3. And then Hermes, of course, has a new outfit throughout the event, so maybe he'll get one in Part 3. I'm kind of hoping that... very, very slim chance of this happening, but I'm hoping that Athena is a character that might appear. She's only ever been mentioned by name, but since Artemis is here in this event, it'd be really cool to have the 3rd Virgin Goddess in this event, and then the 3 of them being together at the very end. That'd be really cool to see. Anyway, as far as how the banners are divided up, we have not Artemis, totally not Artemis, Hyacinthus, and Osfi on the first banner. Remember, double rates are still happening. And then Ryu, Apollo, and Aisha on the second banner. And of course they divided my 2 wanted characters. They know what they're doing. Like, I think they know that most people want Artemis and Ryu, because they're probably the most popular characters of the 6 characters. So of course they gotta split them up. Geniuses. Now we have a Tons of Iris mission campaign. I guess it's similar to those daily missions we got where we get various materials. This time we're going to be getting a ton of Iris. And they're going to be handing out a free Virgin Goddess Artemis unit. This is the Adventurer Artemis that we got when the Heir to Orion movie event was first happening. And you'll also be getting a Artemis bow, her character weapon. And they're going to be buffing up her character. So for a lot of us who played the game back then when Heir to Orion's movie event was happening, I know I have mine at +5 already, so this is kind of nice. I actually took the time to show off the changes here. What I marked in red is the change. She got her strength increased, so at max it's at 6096, her dexterity is 983, and her agility at max is 925. And as for the translation of her buff skills, of course, credit goes to Simhab on the DanMemo subreddit. Link in the description for that Reddit thread. Her special arts is an AoE ultralight physical attack with a temporary strength boost and ultra penetration rate, and increases the damage received for both single target and AoE damage by 35% for 4 turns. As for her combat skills, the first skill costs 61 MP, and it gives your allies a fast strength, dexterity, and light attack damage buff of 35% for 4 turns, and also gives her an additional 3 actions of a AoE low light physical attack. Her second skill costs 39 MP, and is a AoE fast highlight physical attack with a temporary strength boost and removes strength and magic buffs, excluding assist skills, so that's kind of nice. And her third skill costs 34 MP, is a single target super light physical attack with a temporary strength boost and ultra unguard rate. And for her notable passives, she has a 35% dark resistance increase, she does 10% more damage on criticals and penetrations, and like before, she has the insect killer ability. So nice little touches there. Seeing this unit again kind of brings back some old memories of how everyone had this Artemis and also the movie Ryu on their war game team. But even with these changes, I don't think she's going to make too much of a wave. Mostly because they want you polling for the new characters, and it's the new characters that usually get the good skills. And you can see it reflected in the war games right now, a lot of people using the new characters. They will be adding a 4th anniversary exchange shop, so over the course of this event, we'll be able to get these 4th anniversary medals and be able to exchange it for various rewards. You see bonds right here for the new Ryu, Haruhime, and Artemis. And here we have new order-made outfits for Belle and Lafia. There's already these types of outfits for Aiz and Ryu. You have to buy these items with actual money, and it changes their appearance, of course, in battle for any Belle or Lafia type unit. So if you have, let's say, the old Christmas Belle, but you have this outfit enabled, this is the outfit you will see in battle, and they have their own special arts and appearances. And this is what Belle looks like on the home screen if you set it to that, and then this is what Lafia's looks like. So that's that. This is something interesting called the Team Unit Election. It says Worldwide Unit Election will be held twice. 2 winners will be added as a new adventurer or assist units as a team. So by the sounds of it, you can vote for 2 characters, and I guess the 2 characters that win the election will be combined into like one unit, and it will be made as an adventurer or assist depending on like what 2 characters they are. Like if it's a god combo, like say Astia and Artemis, you would think that that's going to be an assist character. If it's like what you see here, like if Ryu and Belle win, they'll probably get a adventure unit, and it'd be a duo unit with Ryu and Belle. And that'd be really cool to see. And I think you guys should just vote for Ryu and Belle. For me, please. I mean, even the graphic suggests it, and just like, let's celebrate Season 4 coming at some point. We're still waiting on news for Season 4, like more stuff on that. But in honor of Season 4, totally vote for Ryu and Belle, please. And then here, I'm getting those daily quests for Hero Falna, Player XP, CP up items, and Valos quests. So super useful for newer players. All the main story quests will be 1/3 of the stamina cost. That's nice again for newer players. And this is the weapon upgrade support campaign. So basically, it's a lot easier to upgrade your equipment. The great success rate will be tripled, so it costs less materials in the long run. And then your first clear is 7 zone will have double rewards, it looks like, for that first clear. And then naturally, of course, with every event, there's going to be paid bundles based on that event. So Aedes Vesta, Full Moon, Mega Bundles, Special Bundle, and then a paid ticket. And then, of course, your regular 7 zone refresh. Got a Ravis Record Buster coming up. And this is just a quick review of all the stuff. And here it says Thursday. This is based on Japanese Standard Time, so it will be tomorrow on Wednesday. Great Tail, Aedes Vesta, Full Moon, Aedes Vesta, the gacha banners, and then the paid bundles, order-made outfits. The bonus Iris campaign starts. The launch of the 4th anniversary exchange shop. Main story stamina cost will be 1/3. 7 zones coming, and the first clear reward will be doubled. The equipment support campaign where great success rate is tripled. Heroic Trials, Nobility, Sacred Flame. It didn't provide a graphic for which heroic trial will start first, like which characters, but we'll be getting one for each banner as part of the course for these anniversary events. Looks like with the once a day quest, we'll be starting off with Hero Falna, and then we'll be getting a Record Buster, Ravis, and then many more campaigns to come soon. And speaking of campaigns, there is currently a social media campaign on the DanMemo global Twitter account. For every 500 tweets, likes, shares on Twitter and Facebook, they're going to be giving away 100 Iris, up to 500 total. So as long as they reach this number of 2,500 like social interactions, they'll also be giving away a 4-star guaranteed ticket. I don't think this will be too hard to reach, but of course, don't assume it's going to happen without your participation. I have more than enough subscribers on the channel to reach this number, so hopefully we reach this number. Again, it shouldn't be too difficult to reach that. But anyway, guys, I'm very much looking forward to part 2 of this event, especially after finishing part 1 and us getting like the bombshell drops of it. Oh, hey, someone who looks like Artemis is back, and Apollo and Euclidus are somehow involved. Like, what is going on? So I'm super excited to get into the actual event itself when it starts tomorrow night, and also excited to try and get these new units, especially Ryu. And you can't tell me this isn't Artemis. It's the Artemis that we think we know, but she might be called Diana. Like, I'm like 90% sure on this, especially when Amori Sensei said he doesn't like think it's a spoiler, but we'll just have to go through the event and see. It's so strange hearing the production team behind a gacha game to tell you, like, wait, don't roll right away, don't spend your money right away. We want you to play through this story first, so you don't get spoiled. Like, okay, but the events in DanMemo are special because they're like super long in terms of the anniversary events, and they're fully voiced, so that's super cool. But again, part 1 is like 5 hours long. So I'm wondering how long this part 2 is going to be, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully you guys are also excited about the event. I'm curious what characters you're excited to roll for. Maybe you want to see like the skills first, but I'm all in on Artemis. Totally not Artemis and Ryu. So that's me. Again, I'll be working on a part 2 story discussion, and hopefully that's out before Danmachi Light Novel Volume 16 is released on the 27th. So look forward to that, and of course my review on the 16th volume of DanMachi. It's been a long time coming. If you want to see more DanMachi content, go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and join the Discord. And as always, continue enjoying your time fetching Mario and the dungeon, and also Olympia. This is Lauren, your guild advisor, signing out.